Me, Eli, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Terry. I'm back from my summer sabbatical. Happy to be back in the rotation.
And you've been on trips with the kids, didn't you?
Yeah, we went to Disney World.
Oh, how great was that?
Yeah, seeing that through a 2 and a 3-year-old's eyes. I mean, that's all they watch is the Disney Channel. And my wife, I never grew up going there. My wife was one of those families, they went bunches of times. So being able to relive that through your kids' eyes is really great.
It most certainly is.
It's the most expensive place on earth, though, I'll tell you that.
Eli is the president of the Kentucky Association for Marriage and Family Therapy, and yeah, you're going to learn. I hope this presidency got you a couple more nickels.
Yeah, it got me a little closer in line on the Buzz Lightyear
ride. Well, you can show that badge. Oh, I'm the president.
That's right.
Kentucky Marriage and Family Therapy. All right, let's talk about what I mentioned a few minutes ago. Transition time for families. Let's go with peer pressure with kids first.
Yeah, okay. So you talk about middle school. There's a lot of parental shifts and child shifts. So if you're used to, having your child come home, tell you all about their day, as they do sometimes in younger kids and in primary grades, that can change if you have a middle schooler for the first time. A couple important transitions. We got to know developmentally, middle schoolers, 6th, 7th, 8th graders, they're going to start to get their identity from their peers more than their parents. So this is your little guy or girl that was coming up hugging on you a year ago suddenly might not be so receptive to that now, and also might not be as receptive to what advice you got for them. So it's real normal for middle schoolers to kind of want to distance themselves from their parents, start to get identities from their peers.
But that doesn't mean you should allow them to roll their eyes and look and huff when you say, hey, I need to tell you something.
No,
you're still allowed to ask for respect and eye contact.
You're still running the show. It does mean in public, though, around their peers, that they are not going to give you the same respect or authority that they might behind closed doors. So I think it's important to know what's going on with your middle schooler. So most parents, they're used to, in previous years, you have younger kids, they're scheduling the play dates. That is the parents. They're coordinating with the parents. Hey, you get into middle school, there's more autonomy. The kids, if they're going to set up an overnight or a sleepover, they're going to do that. They don't want their parents to do it. They're also, especially with technology now, when we were in middle school, Terry, we didn't. No, you went across the street.
Right.
Now you're texting.
Or we'd holler, Eli!
But now all this technology, people come in see marriage and family therapists. The parents are enfranchising their youngsters with all types of technology. So you got to know, if you're the parent, there's got to be some way to control that, whether it be internet, texting, or whatever. And lots of parents say, well, how old is too old to give them a cell phone? And we really start seeing that now in middle school. Most middle schoolers, if you poll them, have some type of cell phone, and it probably has texting and data capabilities.
And what about the picture part of this? Because you know how distressing this is for these idiots. There's always somebody who starts something, and next thing you know, a vulnerable child can be persuaded into sending a picture, sexting.
Sure.
And then when should you broach that subject with a child?
Right. I think before you give technology to your middle schooler.
All right, let me step back one more time. Then somebody else has a picture phone. You're not going to give your kid one, but there's one. When do you bring up that subject? It's real. It's in the world, sure. And kids are too dumb to know the damage that can cause.
Right. This kind of digital footprint. If you put something out there, even though you delete it 2 seconds later, it's out there. And a lot of kids don't have that concept. They grow up with this technology. So I think you're right. It's actually easier if your kid's friend is doing it, and you have not allowed your child to have that piece of technology or something yet. You talk about the risk and responsibilities with that. And I think most parents, if they're doing their job, they're going to give their middle schooler more and more freedom, but they're also going to monitor that if the child is using it responsibly or if they're not. And then there's generally some consequence. Nice thing about cell phones or texting plans, we tell parents, don't ever give a consequence you can't enforce 100% of the time, because partial reinforcement is the worst time, Carrie, because if the kid just pushes on you enough, sometimes you'll give in, you're stressed with your job, with other things, and it's not just worth it, so you're tired of their complaining, so you give in. Nice thing about texting and data plans, you can always call the phone company, and there's even apps now to monitor. You can turn it off. So if your child's not using it responsibly, or if you don't have access, most parents have some type of access to their kids' text, so they know.
Is it okay to deceive your child and say, I can see everything you text? Why we have a special, Dad and I have a thing on the computer. We can read anything, any data that's sent out.
Well, I'm for transparency. Don't deceive your child, because also many children are more technological savvy than their parents, so they'll know they're being deceived, or the kid will know, hey, you don't know how to do that. So it's better to be transparent. The reality is, if you're transparent with your expectations and your consequences, better chance you're going to be able to be there for your child as they start to kind of pull away. And again, most parents, you need to know that's normal. It's okay if your son or daughter is getting influence from their peer group. That being said, it's important to know who your kids are hanging out with.
Right. Okay. We've got about 40 seconds left in this segment. What if that troubled urchin is in too close with your kid? How do you sort of gently get your child interested in other kids?
Right. The natural, and there's a natural alarm when that happens, and I think you want to you don't want to pick your children's friends for you, but you want to get them involved in activities and in groups where they're going to meet the type of kids that you like, or where you have contact with your parents so that you know. But the worst thing you could do is tell them not to hang out with that kid or come down on that kid right away, because then your youngster is just going to dig their heels in.
You're pushing them toward them.
Exactly.
Dr. Eli Karam, his website is elikaram.com, and that's Karam. We're coming back in a few minutes, and we'll talk about when the kids leave the house, either the first one for college or the last one. That's on the way in about 10 minutes here on 84 WHAS.